Palestine! Palestine! Palestine!
We are the people! We want returns! Stop the bombing!
No!
We are
The people!
We want
On the victims!
Stop the
The bottom! No! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! Palestine will live forever! Palestine will live forever!
Boycott aliens!
Boycott aliens!
Boycott
Aliens! Boycott aliens!
Boycott aliens! Boycott aliens!
Say, JA, you must know, aliens have to go.
What?
JA, you must know, aliens has to go.
Hello. Right.
JA, you must know, aliens has to go. JA, no.
That's it. Go ahead.
JA, you must know, aliens has to go. As Gilligan, aliens amok, aliens amok, aliens amok, aliens amok, aliens amok.
I'll hold back here.
Okay,
Aliens
amok. Get on. Yeah, we'll do. Maybe.
Aliens, you can't hide!
You're
Funding genocide.
Aliens, you can't hide!
You're supporting genocide.
Aliens, you can't hide!
You're supporting genocide.
Aliens, you can't hide!
You're supporting genocide.
Boycott!
Boycott.
Boycott!
Aliens.
Boycott!
Aliens.
Boycott!
Aliens.
Aliens, you can't hide!
You're supporting genocide.
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 Boycott!
Aliens.
Boycott!
Aliens.
Boycott!
Aliens.
Boycott!
Aliens. Okay. Those same war bonds that war criminal Herzog says that that are crucial to the war effort. We say that genocide and the ethnic cleansing of a defenseless and captive population. Alliance also has, this last couple of years, has invested in up to 16 defense companies complicit in arming Israel. They also hold $7.3 billion in Israeli war bonds and shares that are complicit in the genocide. So look, that's the message we're getting across here tonight, and it's wonderful to see us all gathered here. You're certainly on the right side of history. Look, I'm going to concentrate tonight in what I'm going to say on the children who have been slaughtered. I'm going to tell a couple of stories because I think that concentrates our minds and emphasises how it is that we come out of our warm, cosy houses tonight on a bitter cold night to stand in solidarity and support and love for our Palestinian brothers and sisters. It's just simply appalling that Alliance has been complicit in funding since October 2023. Let's listen to these statistics. Well over 20,000 children killed, and numbers rising every day. Remember, that's not counting the numbers that are buried in the rubble. A breakdown of those shocking statistics means that Israel has killed a classroom full of children every single day since the 7th of October 2023. Israel has permanently disabled at least 21,000 Palestinian children. Gaza has the highest number of child amputees in the world. Think about that. In an area about the size of County Louth. Children with disabilities and children with illness unable to access treatment or support because of the brutal blockades. At least 40,000 children orphaned. According to UNICEF, the Israeli army has destroyed 98% of schools in the Gaza Strip and killed over 1,000 teachers. 633,000 school-aged children are deprived from schooling every day, and Israel is not allowing school textbooks into Gaza. Genocide profiteers such as aliens have no place in our schools or in our Gaelic games. It is an abomination. The line from the Tennyson poem resonates, children of a lesser God, because it seems clear that the so-called Christian Western democracies do not look upon the Palestinian children as children. They think of them as children of a lesser God. Will we shout back at them that they are not? Children, no matter where they come from, creed or colour of their skin, are precious, and they're to be loved, and they're to be cherished, and they're to be protected like all other children. So it'll be an eternal stain on our Western democracies, including our own North and South, who have been absolutely shameful. Yeah. Here. Now, I'm going to try my best to tell two stories of Palestinian children who have been killed. Stay with me. It's not going to be easy. I'll try and get through it. And I'll try my best as well to get the pronunciations of their names correct, to get the inflections and the intonations as best as I can. My Arabic needs work on, but I'll do my level best. The first story concerns two little Palestinian brothers, Fadi Abu Asi, aged 11, and his little brother Goma Abu Asi, aged 8. And on the 29th of November there, just gone past at the end of last year, rather poignantly, the date that's set aside as the International Day of Solidarity for Palestine. Those two little boys were engaged in what you could call a labour of love. They were searching through the wreckage and rubble of their apocalyptic Gazan landscape, searching for a little bit of firewood to provide some shelter, comfort and heat for their dad, who was wheelchair bound in his flimsy, freezing tent. And while they were engaged in that labour of love, they were deliberately targeted by the IDF and murdered in a drone strike. Now I want you to contemplate that for a moment and think of a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum were those two little brothers, I suppose demonstrating love in its most purest form. And then on the other end of the spectrum, as far as you could go to the right of it until you're falling off the edge, were those IDF sadists who I suppose were distilling the very essence of naked hatred in its most savage and depraved form. There are simply no words. And then we learned that the bodies of Fadi and Gomez were retrieved. And think about those people, those wonderful Palestinian people who go to retrieve the bodies and the risks that they run because they are so often targeted just for the hell of it. But thankfully on this occasion, the bodies of Fadi and Goma were retrieved. And now think of the image that's seared into our brains over these last 2 years. The images of the bodies, children's bodies, wrapped in the white sheets and carried with as much dignity and respect as they can do. And the bodies of Fadi and Gomez were carried to their dad in his tent, and they were laid down gently in front of him. And then heartbreakingly and heart-wrenchingly, we learn that he asked that the sheets be opened for one last time, that he could look on his two sons for one last time. Now look, can I tell you, anyone who knows me knows that I don't cry easily. Gaelic footballers don't cry, sure we don't.
No.
Well, I suppose the only times we do, the natural cycle of life, with family bereavements and such. But my life for my 78 years to now has been a happy one and a blessed one and a privileged one, thankfully. And through that time, I have had very little reason to cry. But I can tell you, over these last 2 to 3 years, I have shed bitter tears with stories like that of Fadai and Gomez, and I'm sure you're all the same yourselves. Gregory McCartan of the Great 90s team travelled up with me the last night, and he told me that that had happened to him several times as well. The great Gary Lineker, great huge respect for that man, a champion off and on the field, has admitted as well that he has cried. You would need to have a heart of stone not to. Now the other story is of my daughter Grania is here, I know, and she has an image here that she'll show you. If you stand out there, Grania, if you stand out just in front there. And this is the image of this little beautiful Palestinian, 6-year-old Palestinian girl. I hope I can get her name correct. Hein Rajab. And she's the subject, her story is the subject of an award-winning film that's on general release at the moment. I went to see it a couple of weeks ago, and by God, it put you through the ringer. But I can tell you, it was the first time I sat in a cinema, and after the film was over, no one moved. Not one person moved for at least 10 to 15 minutes. And that was because we had to try and compose ourselves, because it was heart-wrenching. Because what happened was, this little girl's story here, on the 29th of January 2024, in the midst of the horrific bombardment, she was killed along with 6 members of her family, plus 2 paramedics who were coming to her aid. But look at her there, staring out at us in all her beauty. It was obviously a time of maybe relative calm for her, where it probably was before the 7th of October. But remember, the Palestinian people for decades are living under a brutal occupation. But children being children, they're so resilient, and they will get on with life. And she obviously was doing that at the time. And as we look at her now, there she is staring out at us, and we can only imagine the hopes and dreams and the aspirations that she had and that her family had for her, and never to be realised. The story was, she was leaving. They were told to leave. They were told to evacuate, as we know that story. There's nowhere safe for them to go. But they were on their route after being ordered to go in their family car. And an Israeli tank, yes, a tank, at close quarters, fired on them. 455 bullets were slammed into the car and into the bodies of her family. But miraculously, she survived that first onslaught. And she had the presence of mind, that wonderful little girl, hiding in that car, alongside the corpse of her families, that she rationalised like a child does, that they were asleep. And she phoned her uncle in Germany, and he in turn phoned the brilliant Palestine Red Crescent in Gaza. And they, the wonderful people there, they kept a discourse going with her for many hours while she hid in that car. And, I'm just taking a breather here. What happened then was, in that, the fact was, when they were attacked by the tank, she was only 8 minutes from rescue. But they weren't allowed, the Palestine Red Crescent weren't allowed to approach that car for hours on end. So the Red Crescent medics kept a discourse going with her. And we learnt a lot about her. We learnt that, for example, she loved the sea. She loved playing in the sea. She loved playing on the beach along with her brother and the rest of her family. She loved all of that. And then I taught, you see, in primary school for over 40 years. So I know this age group very well. I know the joy and the treasures that they are. And this tore my heart in ribbons when she was asked about school. She said that she was in the butterfly class. That tore me to pieces, can I tell you? Because how appropriate, but how devastating was that image. Because we know butterflies are beautiful, just like children are. But we also know that they're fragile, that they're delicate, and they're vulnerable, just like children are. And we think of where Hind was. And then also we know, absolutely devastatingly, that butterflies are short-lived. Butterfly days we talk about. And we also knew that Hind's life was going to be very short-lived. Because what happened was, eventually those sadists said that they were going to allow free passage. They had never had any intention of it. And when the rescue medics were close to Hind, they deliberately fired again and murdered those two brave medics who have been, many of them have been murdered over these 2 or 3 years. And also they lost contact with Hind. But Hind's voice is with us forever. And it's going to be there for posterity. And it will be absolutely, oh my gosh, when we think of her voice, it will be an indictment forever of the most vile, repugnant, genocidal regime that there's been in history. That will be Hind's legacy. So, thank you very much. Those are the two stories.
Right, we're here today to try and make everybody aware of Allianz. Allianz is an insurance company that the GAA use. There are other companies they can use, and we need to boycott Allianz, and the GAA need to drop Allianz, because Allianz is involved in the slaughter of thousands, 680,000 Palestinians trapped for 18 years in Gaza. And Allianz is aiding and abetting this genocidal, apartheid, racist regime. So we all say no to Allianz. The GAA belongs to the people of Ireland, not to the genocidal murderers, not to the Jewish supremacists in Israel that are slaughtering a classroom of children every day, that are starving, newborn babies in incubators. This is what the GAA is supporting. And we call on you to make your voice heard and say no to Allianz and stop Allianz now. Also, the Israelis have wormed their way into the health service, to the education service. They are harassing the doctors, and we know that Allianz is aiding and abetting all of this barbaric, medieval slaughter of innocent people. So we're here to ask you all to come and join us and say the GAA must stop using Allianz now. Stop it now. Thank you.
Boycott Allianz. Boycott Allianz.
Boycott Allianz! Boycott
Allianz. GAA, you must know. GAA, you must know. Allianz has to go. GAA, you must know. Allianz has to go. GAA, you must know. Allianz has to go. Well, look, if you could bear with me for a moment, I'll put pen to paper again. It'll not take too long. Just start here. It's clear that the GAA executive never had any intention of severing links with Allianz. They passed our petition on to the Ethics and Integrity Commission, a misnomer if ever there was one, with a nod and a wink that we want only one result here, a report we can hide behind. That's exactly what they got, a whitewash, and the chance to quickly declare that nothing to see here, so business as usual. They hoped that would be the end of it, but it hasn't been. The EIC report sparked fury amongst grassroots Gaels with its cynical timing, dismissive tone, and a total lack of empathy. Gaza was never referenced. The report had nothing to do with ethics. It was financial in nature, placing profits and concern about contractual risk before unimaginable human suffering. The EIC and the JAA sought cover in the supine inaction of Western governments, including our own, who lay claim to be beacons of moral superiority, but who have in reality disgraced themselves with their active support for Israel. It's no cover at all, merely a flimsy fig leaf and a refuge of scoundrels. The report was inaccurate and misleading, and yet was adopted with indecent haste by the Management and Central Council Committee, without, it appears, a single dissenting voice from county representatives. Shame on them if that is so.
Shame.
The message from the mandarins in Croke Park was a spineless counsel of despair, or as Kenny Archer of the Irish News put it memorably in the Mid-Ulster vernacular, "Ach, that would be a wild pile of bother." Try telling that to our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Their bother, in inverted commas, is attempting to survive each day the brutal onslaught from a rogue state acting with impunity in pursuit of the Zionist ambition to erase them from history. This is the same repugnant genocidal regime that Alliance invests in. The notion that Alliance Ireland has nothing to do with what is happening in the Middle East, but only has a sibling link, is for the birds. It's an insult to our intelligence. Alliance Ireland, or wherever else the company operates, are all the same. The profits go back to the parent company for distribution to the shareholders. Alliance Ireland benefits from the group brand and exists within a corporate structure that has chosen to fund and sustain appalling human rights abuses. The JAA is a very attractive proposition for a company like Alliance. We are the biggest and greatest community-based sporting organisation in the world. Association with the JAA makes Alliance look good, seem caring, involved in the community, etc. Gaels with a choice of insurers, for example, may well go with Alliance because they feel the company gives to the JAA. But Alliance is not a charity. They're not handing out money to the JAA because of any spirit of altruism. They do so because it gives them a massive return, an opportunity to sport wash their sullied, rotten brand on our backs. It is incumbent on all of us to protect the ethos and values of our JAA. The Croke Park executive and the corporate entity that has taken root at headquarters do not own our grounds. A corporate entity is completely at odds with what is demonstratively a community-based organisation. We are the inheritors and custodians of the magnificent legacy left to us by our heroic predecessors. The clubs, the clubs, are the bedrock of the association, and along with the volunteers are the key stakeholders, and yet you are being excluded from the decision-making process. The censorship of motions for Congress raises serious issues in respect of governance at the executive level. A clear democratic deficit has arisen. Motions to drop Alliance were approved by 10 counties. Also, it should be added that middle management in other counties blocked and ruled similar motions out of order. Sharp practice that was, to say the least. The JAA's official governance guide emphasises the importance of integrity, accountability and transparency within the context of a democratic volunteer-led organisation. We must hold the executive to account and insist that they operate in accordance with the official governance guidance. Now, can I say one last thing too as well? How absolutely obscene, perverse is it that our wonderful Common Munskell competition for primary school children is sponsored by that rogue brand. It is an abomination. And we demand that they are ripped out of anything to do with our games, and certainly have them nowhere near, don't have that brand anywhere near our children. Now look, we're leading up now. There's a lot of these protests happening, as you can see, outside quite a number of grounds. And then it's leading, all roads leading to Dublin in 2 weeks' time. At 11 o'clock in the morning, we're gathering outside. It's Gaels Pub, Gills, Gaels Pub at 11 o'clock, which is just round the corner from Croke Park. And we're going to be following and marching there, hopefully in our thousands if it's possible. And following on, been led by the wonderful David Hickey, humanitarian champion all of his life. So we get in behind Dave. I would love to have a huge down contingent there, our county there. So I'd love to see us there with all our banners and all our placards and making plenty of noise, because we're going to say to the JAA hierarchy that we're not going to be silenced. We're not going to go away. We're going to keep at it and keep letting you know. We're going to keep your feet to the fire. And we're going to be demanding that that brand is booted out of Croke Park eventually. Can I thank you very much for coming here tonight? Honest to God, you lift our spirits, so you do. You definitely do. Thank you. And if there's anyone else wants to say something, be my guest.
Palestinian Day will come, and we can only do that by turning out and showing the Palestinians that they are not forgotten.
Well done, Derda. Well done. Yes, you want to, yes, let
just 1 second. Could I just say, I'll only keep 1 minute, and that's a record for me. An absolute record. You see, everybody that's standing here today, make yourself a promise that on the 28th you will be in Dublin by hook or by crook. None of our family are allowed to go anywhere on the 20th except Dublin. This is the one day we can make a huge impact on the Central Council of the GAA, who, as Colin has so eloquently explained, are an absolute disgrace. This organisation is exceptional throughout the world. And we have one opportunity, and we'll not have another one, to demonstrate in such an outstanding way what we want to achieve. So please, 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 make that commitment. Tell your family and friends, there are a lot of women here, and they run everything all over the bloody place. They will ensure that you get out. Please, please, this is a plea, as Colin has said. This is our one opportunity. We will make a tremendous impact to the struggle of the GAA and the Palestinians in Gaza. Thank you very much. Free Palestine.
You're supporting genocide! You can't hide! You're supporting genocide! You can't hide! You're supporting genocide! You can't hide! You're supporting genocide!
and you see,
I see you there once.
You can't hide!
Genocide!
Audience, you can't hide!
You're supporting genocide!
Audience, you can't hide!
You're supporting genocide!
Audience, you
Genocide!